For the past 3 months, I attempted to level up both my health and my finances by growing my own broccoli sprouts. My goal was simple. I wanted to find out if the money I could save was actually worth the hassle. In this video, I'll explain why I started eating broccoli sprouts, show you exactly how to grow your own, reveal how much money I've actually saved, and answer the question that really matters. Was this level up actually worth it? After a health scare earlier this year, I've been on a mission to level up my health. One area I became particularly focused on was my colon health. As I started researching foods that might support it, one kept coming up over and over again: broccoli sprouts. Why broccoli sprouts? They're one of the richest natural sources of sulforaphane. While the science is still evolving, there's encouraging evidence that sulforaphane may provide a number of important health benefits, including the potential to help reduce the risk of colorectal cancer. This promising research was enough to convince me it was worth adding broccoli sprouts to my diet. Broccoli sprouts are incredibly easy to eat. I put them on sandwiches, wraps, salads. Sometimes I just eat them plain. But there was one problem. A small package of broccoli sprouts cost about $3.50 at my grocery store, and I was going through about 2 packages every week. Now, for a lot of people, that might not seem like a big deal, but I'm cheap. I'm frugal. And I realized that this experiment had the potential to become more than just a health level up. It could also be a financial level up if I could grow broccoli sprouts myself at a fraction of the cost. So that's exactly what I spent the last 3 months doing. Before I show you exactly how I grow my sprouts, here's what I'm trying to accomplish with this experiment. I'm trying to level up my health by adding a food that's rich in sulforaphane to my diet consistently. I'm trying to level up my financial situation by reducing the cost of the broccoli sprouts that I'm already buying for $7 a week. The big question I have is growing my own broccoli sprouts actually worth the time and effort? Now it's time to show you exactly how I grow my sprouts. So I'm going to show you guys step by step how I grow my broccoli sprouts. So this jar of broccoli sprouts right here, this is about 3.5 days in. So probably about 2 to 3 more days before I harvest them. So I usually stagger my jars. So when I go to harvest, I have another jar already started, and that way I have plenty of sprouts on hand no matter what. So I'm going to start the process with this empty jar. You have this mesh here, and then this lid. I also have this is a sleeve that's going to go on it. So I'm going to take this jar, I'm going to put a tablespoon of seeds in there, and I'm going to let that sprout for about 24 hours. And then I'll take the sleeve off that keeps it in the dark and move it over to my rack over here. So these are my broccoli seeds. I got these off of Amazon. I should get about 55 jars worth of broccoli sprouts out of these. There will be a link in the description if you're interested in these seeds. They've worked pretty well so far. So I'm going to take these and get a tablespoon of seeds out. So I have my tablespoon. Go ahead and put that in the jar. Move my seeds out. The seeds, you need to keep the seeds stored in a cool, dark place. So I store them in a cupboard. Otherwise, the sunlight can make them sprout prematurely. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some water to this. Just enough water that you make sure that the seeds are going to get fully soaked. And then I'm going to take this sleeve here. If you don't have a sleeve, you can just put it in a dark cupboard or something to keep the sunlight away. But these sleeves come with the kit. So with the kit is the 2 jars, the rack, 2 sets of sleeves. So there we go. We got it all sleeved up. I'm going to keep that out of the light for the next 24 hours and let nature do its work. So, have the broccoli seeds. Okay, they've been covered up to stay dark. That's what they look like after 24 hours. A few of them just started to sprout just a little bit. So I'm going to take them. I'm going to dump out the excess water. Kind of get them a line there on the edge of the jar. And then go sit them over there on the stand. Now, As you can see here, these are the broccoli sprouts that have been growing for a while. I think these will be ready to harvest tomorrow. So looking pretty good. I will go ahead and rinse out the new seeds and the broccoli sprouts that have been growing and drain them. Tomorrow I'll harvest and you'll see the routine as they continue to grow. So last night before bed, I went and rinsed my broccoli seeds and drained them. And I'm going to do that again this morning. It's really simple. Just take some filter water. Just going to rinse the seeds out of that mesh there. Then I'm going to swish them around. So I'll give you a close-up here, kind of see what's going on. You can see the seeds are germinating. You can see all those little white sprouts starting up, right? I'm going to swish them around, then I'm just going to drain them. I like to get them along the bottom of the jar like that. So it's been 48 hours. We're getting some good germination. We're getting a lot of broccoli sprouts forming. I think you'll be surprised in a day how much these will grow from here. Okay, so this jar here, this is the jar that's been going for a while, and you can kind of see the growth you can get from these broccoli sprouts, how quickly they grow. This is about 5 days in. These are going to be ready to harvest today. I'm going to give the jar a shake. And this just kind of breaks up the sprouts a little bit so they're not too clumped together. Then same thing. Gonna get some water. Gonna give them a nice rinse. And then strain them out and set them on the rack. Like I said, I'll let these drain to get the excess water off, and I'll show you at the end of the process how I harvest the broccoli sprouts. Okay, so here we are this morning. That's where we've gotten with our broccoli sprouts. They had some good growth yesterday. So yesterday night I rinsed them, and I will rinse them again here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a shake. Just try to loosen them up a little bit, and then go through and do what I normally do. Give them a rinse with some filter water. Swish them around a little bit. Now, not every seed is going to germinate. A lot will. You'll have these seed holes that are left over. Don't worry about those. That's just part of the process. So there we are. Arrange them at the bottom again. Go ahead and set them on the rack. It's a rainy day today, but they'll get plenty of sun. Oh, and I did harvest those other sprouts. That's why that jar is gone. Everything came out really well. It gave me a nice full container of sprouts. I will see you again tomorrow. Okay, here we are. We're on day 4, I believe. And this is the growth right now on our broccoli sprouts. See here, they kind of got like that white looking root growing. Eventually they'll get kind of fuzzy looking. That's okay. When they do get to that point, they're supposed to do that. It isn't mold. You might think it's mold. It's not mold. I'm going to take them and give them a really good shake. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break up the roots a bit so that they can expand a little bit more in the jar. Go through the same process that we've been doing. Give them a good rinse. Strain them out. Then once again, align them on the side of the jar. So there we are. I'll do that again tonight, and we'll see where we're at tomorrow. I think we're probably about 2 days away from being able to harvest these. Not too bad so far. So guys, I'm going to show you one of my favorite recipes that I do with my broccoli sprouts. It is a take on the BLT, except I have replaced the lettuce with broccoli sprouts. So I do this on sourdough bread, and I toast it. So this is my toasted sourdough. I actually was running a little low on sourdough bread, so I had to use some pieces that I normally wouldn't use. But today, we're going to use these pieces that I have available. I take a little bit of mayo, and I'm going to put that on the inside of each sandwich. So on one piece of bread. Hopefully I don't get too many bugs out here, but that just might be happening today, but I wanted to go outside and do this where there was some light. Okay, so now that I have the mayo on, I'm going to take my avocado, and I've sliced this up a bit so it will make it easier to get off and spread. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that on the other side of the sandwich. I'm going to do that on both pieces of bread. This other piece of bread's a little bit smaller, so I use a smaller piece of avocado. Okay, so I'm going to take that and kind of just smush it up. And guys, you don't have to make it exactly like me. This is just how I like it. I think avocado elevates it a little bit, so it's just an add-on for me for my take on the BLT. Okay, so I have that done and that done. But right now I'm going to put some onion on there. I like a little onion on my sandwiches. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these cherry tomatoes on. Now these cherry tomatoes, they might fall off when I'm eating. That's okay. It doesn't bother me much. I can just pick them off my plate and eat them later. It might be a bit of a mess. Probably be less of a mess if I used bigger tomatoes. But I don't typically do that. I just like the cherry tomatoes. They're just convenient. I can snack on them. I don't have to do much to store them. So I have that. I'm going to go ahead and put some broccoli sprouts on top. Now you can eat these however you want. You can eat them in a sandwich. You can eat them on a salad. I like them both ways. I also sometimes just snack on them just by themselves. That's actually people in my family will just go get into my broccoli sprouts and just eat them for snacks. So I'm going to put 3 strips on each sandwich. Might be a little overkill on this smaller one, but that's okay. I like me some bacon. That tops it off. In the end, there we go. I have my 2 BLTs ready to eat. Okay, another morning, and look, we have lots of growth here. So these sprouts are growing well. So I think this is going to be the last day that I rinse and drain. And whatever I get out of today, then tomorrow I will harvest. So we're going to give it a good shake. Rinse. Just going to get enough water in there to cover everything. Just circulate it a bit. And drain. And there we go. We're going to go back onto the rack. I'll do that one more time tonight, and then it'll be ready to harvest tomorrow. So here we are, folks. We have our broccoli sprouts. They are ready to go. They're ready to be harvested. Look at how beautiful these look. Definitely worth the time and effort. So I'll go through what I do on how I harvest these and what I do to clean them up and have them ready to eat. So now it's time to harvest our sprouts. So I'm going to take these sprouts and I am going to dump them into this colander down here. Got a really nice harvest of sprouts here. So then I take the jar, get some water in there, try to get the jar cleaned out. Now I'm going to have a lot of little seed holes and things. That's okay. So now I'm going to take my sprayer and I'm just going to make sure I'm going to clean these off really well. So I just want to get them mixed around, rinsed off. One of the reasons I always shake the jars to break up the sprouts, because if you don't shake much, they kind of grow together really densely. And then it's harder when you go to harvest them because they're kind of like intertwined so much and they get stuck. So it's harder to dry them off because I don't want to store them all wet like this. I'm going to go ahead and let that drain for a minute, and then I'm going to show you my next step. I take a sheet of paper towel, put it down. Let me get another sheet here. If you don't want to waste the paper, you can use just a regular, like, clean towel. Sometimes I do that. In this case, I'm just going to use a paper towel. So I have my sprouts. I let them drain out. So I'm going to get them out of my colander onto the paper towel. I'm just going to spread them out a little bit. Got a nice harvest here, really nice harvest. So I'm going to take the other paper towel, put it on top, and I'm just going to try to get some of this moisture out. Now you'll notice a lot of the seed hulls stick to the paper towel, so it's another reason why I kind of like using the paper towel. It gets some of the seed hulls out of there. But if you end up eating the seed hulls, it's not going to hurt you guys. It's just a little added fiber. Nothing bad. This one's pretty wet here, so I am going to put down a dry sheet of paper towel. I just don't want these to go into the refrigerator wet, you know, and have potential to get gross. So we'll give it one more opportunity to dry here, or to absorb some moisture. Move it around just a little bit. And once you feel like you've got most of the moisture out, then you're ready to put into a container. So now I have a container, and I'm just going to get these kind of situated in that paper towel. And then I am going to just carefully place them into the container. And there I go. It's enough broccoli sprouts for me for the next 3 to 4 days. And I will just put a lid on. So after 3 months, was this level up worth it? For me, the answer is an easy yes. Let's start with the financial side. Instead of spending about $7 every week on broccoli sprouts from the grocery store, I'm spending about 40 cents a week growing my own. That works out to a savings of $343 over the course of 1 year. Now, maybe you don't think that's a lot of money, but I certainly do. If you earn $18 an hour, you'd have to work an extra 19 hours every year just to pay for the broccoli sprouts from the store versus growing them yourself. I'd much rather spend 1 minute a day growing my own sprouts than spend half of a work week every year earning the money to buy them from the grocery store. For a habit that takes almost no effort, that's an incredible return on your investment. The second question was whether growing my own broccoli sprouts would just become another hassle. Honestly, it hasn't. On average, I spend about 1 minute a day rinsing and draining the sprouts. The rest of the time, they're just sitting on my kitchen counter doing their thing. Even better, after 3 months, I've actually come to enjoy the process. I don't feel like watching them grow as an item on my to-do list. It's just another part of my routine now. So let's look at the scorecard. Health level up. I'd say yes. I'm consistently eating broccoli sprouts every day, which means I'm getting sulforaphane into my diet with almost no effort. Financial level up. Absolutely. Saving $343 every year is hard to argue with. Time investment. About 1 minute a day, maybe a little bit more when you go to harvest, but it's pretty minuscule and it never really feels like a burden. Final verdict, this level up is absolutely worth it. It's healthier, it's dramatically cheaper, it takes almost no time, and after 3 months, it's become a habit I genuinely enjoy. If you enjoyed this experiment, let me know in the comments what you think I should try to level up next, because that is what this channel is all about. I'm searching for practical ways to level up my health, my finances, my fitness, and my overall quality of life, and then sharing what I learned along the way so you can decide if these level ups are worth trying yourself. Until next time, keep leveling up.